Top 5 NFC quarterbacks, Stephen A. Smith, ESPN First Take. This is an interesting question. I was just having this conversation with someone yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was saying, the number one quarterback is relatively simple. It's Jalen Hurts, IMO. 2 is a bit questionable because you could say Dak Prescott. I say nay. I say no. Dak Prescott last year, if you extrapolate the games that he missed, he would have led the NFL in interceptions. Is Dak Prescott really the second best quarterback? Or are we thinking of a nostalgic time where Dak Prescott was a different player? Kirk Cousins. Is Kirk Cousins really the second best quarterback in the NFC? I don't know. Maybe in a noon time slot, maybe in a perfect situation. Then you have Derek Carr. Is Derek Carr the second best quarterback in the NFC? And let's say he's not. Let's say you go with Kirk Cousins at number 2. Is Kirk Cousins at number 2 and Derek Carr at number 4 that much of a difference? I say nay again. The NFC is interesting because it's so weak, especially at the quarterback position. My top 5, just top of the dome here. Number 1 is Jalen Hurts. 2, I don't want to be too big of a homer here. I want to say Derek Carr, but I also think, okay, let's be realistic. I'll give Kirk Cousins number 2. I think his underlying metrics are good enough. I'll say Hurts, Cousins, then I'll say Carr, then I'll say Dak. Now let's go through this. I'll go through this with you, ladies and gentlemen. NFC North, Fields, no. Goff, could be. Love, no. We already said Cousins. NFC West, Geno, could be. Any of the 49ers trio, no. Stafford, are we getting a healthy Stafford? What Stafford are we getting? I guess you got to assume this is fully healthy. Kyler Murray, absolutely not. East, we already said Dak, we already said Hurts. Sam Howell, no. Daniel Jones, no. South, already said Derek Carr. Bryce Young, unknown. Desmond Ridder, no. Baker Mayfield, no. I'll say Matt Stafford 5, and I'm only saying him 5 because of his whole injury concern. If he was fully healthy, he'd be a little higher up. So my official top 5 going into this is Hurts, Cousins, Carr. I'll go Stafford 4, and then Dak.
I like a little bit of flavor. There was no music in there and all of that stuff to get me hyped. But they lucky I'm a dedicated dude and I'm hyped anyway because this list coming up right now
all right,
is
here
about
we go.
the top 5 NFC quarterbacks in the National Football Conference.
I think he'll have Stafford at 2.
Right now, remember Tom Brady's gone. He's retired.
Also, did y'all see how I rattled off the entire NFC quarterback list, just division by division, just didn't even miss a beat? Unbelievable.
Drew Brees is retired. Aaron Rodgers has skipped town, and he's going over to New York City and the AFC Conference. So based on what's left, we got to go with a top 5 in the NFC. Give it to me right here, number 5 on the list, please. Bam! Geno Smith.
Okay, honorable mention. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Geno being there. Is Geno better than Jared Goff?
For the Seattle Seahawks. Why? The brother nearly completed 70% of his passes last year. Got Seattle Seahawks to the postseason. Made you totally forget about Russell Wilson and all the great years that he had there because Geno Smith stepped up to the plate when he got his shot and showed you that, excuse me, he's somebody to be reckoned with. He's top 5 in the NFC Conference this year, all right? Okay. Let's go to number 4, please. Give it to me right now. Bam! Dak Prescott.
Okay, fine. I had Dak top 5, so all good here.
Now, he didn't look good last year. He threw about 15 damn interceptions. But he is playing for the Star. He is playing for the Dallas Cowboys. There's an enormous amount of pressure that comes with that.
It's kind of interesting when it's like, Dak Prescott, number 4. Caveat, he didn't play well last year. If you look at his numbers, 2,800 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 15 picks in 12 games. So it's funny how it's like, he actually was total garbage last year, but I'm just going to throw him on here because he's Dak Prescott, and I've given absolutely no thought to this.
Responsibilities and what have you. From a talent perspective, there is no denying that Dak Prescott is definitely top 5 in the NFC.
There is denying, like I said. You could say Dak is falling off. You could say, like, basically everything I said. that this probably could be the last year where he is on that top 5 level, and then he'll probably just continue declining into more and more of a game manager. Last year might have been an anomaly. Interceptions are kind of a fluky thing. So I'm willing to say maybe it was an anomaly. I don't think he'll ever move up again. Like, I don't think he'll ever be MVP level or Pro Bowl level or, win you a game level. But if he can cut those interceptions, stay healthy, kind of the same thing with Stafford, he might have some magic left in him.
Because his talent demands it, okay? I can't throw shade on the brother, even though he had problems last year. Remember, the list is fluid. The list is fluid. It's the offseason. We're looking ahead. We're not looking just back. We're looking ahead. We're being optimistic.
No doubt.
At least for now. I'll laugh at the Dallas Cowboys around the holidays. Let's go to number 3 on the list. Please give it to me right now.
Whoa, Goff at 3. Damn, that's a lot of that. That's interesting. Okay, that's see. I thought he would go either Geno or Goff. I didn't think he'd put both on the list. Goff at 3, I like it. I mean, I like the guts it takes to do this, because to do this, you have to believe in Jared Goff. You have to believe that this is who he is. It wasn't just a magic in a bottle kind of situation. This is who the Detroit Lions are. This is who Jared Goff is. This is the future. This is the player. I've always been a Goff backer. I've always thought he got a lot of flack. He can really spin the pill. I mean, he throws a beautiful football. He's good in his system. Like, he is a very proficient passer of the football in his system. I hope he takes a step forward. I hope he does I hope Detroit does find something here. I hope it is a consistent thing and it's not just 1 year of magic. But I respect Stephen A here for putting Geno and Goff on the list. This takes guts.
Detroit Lions.
Now, my fear here is that he's going to leave off. If he goes Stafford 2 and then Hurts 1, Hurts is definitely going to be 1. But if he puts Stafford 2, having Cousins and Carr off the list is a bit of a stretch.
Why? Now I know he just had a teammate, breath smelling like Similac, wet behind the ears, bloviating about how great Jared Goff is. But he did have a good season last year. Did throw about 30 touchdowns. Did complete more than 67% of his passes. The Detroit Lions did have a 9-8 record. They were knocking on the door of a playoff berth. He played well. They needed to fix some other things, which I think they will do. This is a man that once quarterbacked the Los Angeles Rams to a Super Bowl a few years ago. Let's give some love to Jared Goff for the season that he had last year, and we're looking forward. A lot of people are projecting that the Detroit
I think he's going Stafford. I think he says Matt Stafford here.
He ain't top 2, though. Give it to me, top 2 right here. Bam!
I need a moment. I need a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I may be having a stroke. Brock Purdy, number 2. Oh my God. There is a great chance Brock Purdy will not be the starting quarterback of the 49ers this year. If he comes back from his injury, questionable, the Niners decide to go with Trey Lance. Trey Lance performs. This is suspect right here. Purdy was... I'm kind of wishy-washy on Purdy. Everything I said about Goff, magic in a bottle, all that stuff, I think Purdy caught the magic in a bottle last year. I am not as impressed with Brock Purdy's arm strength. I am not impressed with him physically. I think he's in a perfect system with the best coach in the NFL, or the second best coach in the NFL. But to say he's the second best quarterback, if you put Brock Purdy, I'll tell you this right now. If you put Brock Purdy on the Lions, they get worse. If you put Brock Purdy on the Seahawks, they get worse. If you put Brock Purdy on the Vikings, they get worse. This, I don't like this at all. I don't like this whatsoever.
Brock Purdy. Why? Because he's coached by Kyle Shanahan. That's why. Because he's got Deebo Samuels and George Kittles as a weapon. That's why. Because this man got the job mid-season, showed up, and showed out.
There is a real possibility that Brock Purdy is the third best quarterback on the 49ers roster right now. That's a hot take for you, ladies and gentlemen, but that's a legitimate possibility.
Guided them to an NFC Championship game. Remember, he was hurt against the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, the San Francisco 49ers didn't have a quarterback. They had to put Christian McCaffrey behind center for crying out loud.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with this ranking or this list, or it has nothing to do with anything.
The Eagles knew they weren't going to be able to throw the damn football. It was the worst NFC Championship game you could possibly find because they were just too injured. We've never seen anything like that before, a team losing 4 quarterbacks in the same season. But that is what happened to the San Francisco 49ers.
Man, this list is nuts.
They had this brother right here. And what did they do? They went to the NFC Championship game. And oh, by the way, they were balling in the process of doing so. The only hiccup, the only bad part was when they went up against Kansas City in the regular season. But that's a story for another day.
Here's the thing with Purdy. I don't think he can win you a game. I think Purdy can navigate that offense, and I think he had the locker room. But as far as him like winning you games, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he is physically a worse Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's probably a better, like the intangibles of a quarterback, the locker room, the leadership, the bravado, the whatever. Physically, the actual quarterbacking, the throwing, all that stuff, I think he's worse than Jimmy Garoppolo, or when they were both in San Francisco.
Brock Purdy deserves consideration as a top 2 quarterback.
No, I don't think so.
One, though. We all know who number 1 is.
Yeah.
Give it to me, please.
Yeah.
Give it to me. This man right here. The new $179 million guaranteed quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, who was in the Super Bowl. 300 yards passing, over 70 yards rushing.
Hurts is sweet. Hurts is awesome. I think Hurts is such a dynamic player. I think he's such a unique player. I love how they use him. He is a legit like MVP candidate, MVP level player. He is way. I mean the difference between Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy is unbelievable. This like to have them 1 and 2. It should be Jalen Hurts should be like on a separate video board over here on the corner. Him being on this list is making me kind of sick.
3 rushing touchdowns in a Super Bowl, okay? Jalen Hurts, who came into the league about 4 years after Dak Prescott, has elevated himself significantly above Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah.
And practically everybody else in the NFC
100%.
conference.
He's way better.
He is the best quarterback in the conference right now. I left Kirk Cousins out of the mix on purpose.
Okay.
He elevated.
I mean, this list, I don't have a problem with. Hurts should be on there, obviously. I don't have a problem with Goff being on there. I don't have a problem with Geno. I don't have a problem with Dak. I put Dak on there. I think Stephen A. Smith labeled it well with Dak. I think we both kind of said the same thing where he wasn't great last year, but if you give him the benefit of the doubt that, the interceptions were a bit fluky, a bit random, things like that, he probably is never going to be in that. Where did I have him? 5? He's never going to be in that top 3 again, but he may have the talent to level off at like 5. Very similar to Stafford. I'm kind of surprised he didn't put Stafford on there. A lot of people think, with a healthy Matt Stafford, a lot of people think he is physically, he could be the best. He could be that guy. He's certainly healthy. He's certainly better than Brock Purdy. I mean, if a healthy Matt Stafford was on the 49ers, they're probably the favorites to win the NFC over the Eagles. This Brock Purdy is just nuts right here. The rest of it's okay. I mean, the NFC is pretty the same. I mean, you could put you go Jalen Hurts, but then the next 4, you could pretty much say anybody. Like, let's say you can't use these 4 guys. You could go Jalen Hurts, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, and thinking of who else? Daniel Jones. I don't know. You could say Daniel Jones. If it said Jalen Hurts, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and Daniel Jones, would you be like, this list is nuts? I would say it was kind of a stretch, but I wouldn't say it was nuts. That's how bunched together the NFC quarterbacks are. The 10th quarterback is pretty similar probably to the 3rd or 4th. The NFC is very interesting this year, for sure. Let me know in the comments below, who is your top 5 NFC quarterbacks. Everyone right now, get down to the comments. Tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Who do you have in there? Everyone, go ahead and here's a little tip for you. 1, Jalen Hurts. Then start at 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone that doesn't have Jalen Hurts at number 1 better have a damn good reason. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.